Hey, hi Supriya, hi Aishwarya.
Hi Runa, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm very busy actually. I'm working on a new problem. It's a fraud detection problem for a financial customer, and I'm doing exploratory data analysis. The data is huge and it has 50 plus variables. And right now,
Wow,
yeah, and what I'm
that's a
doing.
lot to work on, no?
Seriously, yeah, that's a lot to work on. And I have two challenges actually. First, to differentiate what are my continuous variables and what are my discrete variables. And second, to create the histograms and box plots and other kind of graph for each of these variables, save it in a file so that other team members can also look at that and can really review this data and come up with the valuable insight so that we can go to the next step of feature selections or model fitting. So I will not able to join you on a weekend outing. So better you carry on. I'll see you on Monday.
Wait, Runa, we would like you to join us. Like we can't miss that. Wait, me and Ashwarya were working on the same data set, like same
Yeah.
problem statement. Yeah, and you would like to have a view on our solution. Like it might be helpful for you,
What
right,
you have
Ashwarya?
done
It didn't
exactly?
take that much time, no? It didn't take that much time, right, Ashwarya?
Yeah, yes, Supriya. We were working on the exact same problem and we didn't take that much time. Wait, let me share my screen and share this hack with you.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. So here, this is the code that we had worked on at the start. So let me take you through the code one by one.
Sure.
Okay. So we had worked on the similar problem statement that you were mentioning. And the first step we did was importing some libraries which were needed to execute the code. So the first step is we first change the directory of the code to the current working directory using the package import OS over here. And then we read the data set with the pandas package with the command pd.read_csv. This will store the whole data set in a variable called df, as you can see. So now the df variable has the whole cars data set. Next, now as you had mentioned, you had a problem on how to differentiate between the categorical and the numerical variables, whatever data set is given to us. So for this, first, we will store all the columns in a separate variable called variables, as you can see here. All right. And now we'll run a for loop where we'll take each column and measure the percentage of unique values in each column as compared to the whole data set. So for this, we have first printed the column var, which in the first column in this data set is cars. So we'll print cars over here. And then we have used this to measure the percentage of the unique values as compared to the whole data set. So as you can see, the total number of unique values is 0.76 as compared to the whole data set. We have rounded off to a decimal of 2 decimals. All right. So the next step, let's skip this one for a bit. We have created a function called graphs and where we'll be importing the file name, the variables, which in default are all the variables in the dataset, and the directory we'll be setting for saving the graphs, which will later be explained. So the first step is to read the file, which will be saved in DF as we have done before. DF will have the whole file dataset. Now, next, we'll go through each column in the data set and check if it's numerical or categorical. For that, first we will check the data type of the column. Now for this, we can go up and do df.info. This will display all the information about the columns in the data set. Here you can see columns origin has a data type object and car has a data type object. So these are clearly categorical columns. So let's just filter that out first. We'll check if the type of the data, if the type of the column is object, then we'll put it in a variable called var.discrete, which stores all the categorical columns. So now the first step is done. Let's go to the next step where we'll check if the percentage of the unique values in the column is less than a threshold value 0.05. Now, how did we get this 0.05 and why we are doing this? I'll explain it over here. So in this, as we can see, model is like the model of the car, which is supposed to be a categorical value, but it has a data type of dint. So to recognize this, so let me explain another way. This is supposed to be an object, but it is a data type of int. So to store this one in a categorical variable, we will first look at this data and check what is the percentage of unique values in the column model. You can see it's 0.03. So when we compared with like many data sets, we found that there's a certain threshold of 0.05 below which everything is categorical. So that's why we have taken a threshold of 0.05 to store all the columns which with percentage of unique values less than this to be stored in a categorical variable. And if values are greater than 0.05, it will be stored in a continuous variable, which is numerical in this case. So this way, all our discrete and continuous variables are separated. The next will be explained by Supriya.
Oh, this is interesting. So it solved my first problem.
Yeah,
Thank you,
definitely.
Aishwarya.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Let me share my screen. Okay. Now, after segregating our data into the continuous and the discrete part, we will come up to the next part of our EDA, that is getting our data plotted in the desired graphs. So here we are using two iterations. Like before that, I would like to add another thing, that here beside plotting, we are also saving those plots in the form of images in a separate folder, so as it can be used in future references as well, for future EDA references. So let me take you through the code. First, over here, we are iterating each variable in our var count list, which contains all the continuous variables. And then we have changed the directory over here, which was by default, you can see over here, the working directory. And we have changed it to the directory where we want to save our images. So we have passed the path over here. And then we have chosen histogram and box plot for our continuous variables to be plotted at. And for that, we have imported the Seaborn library, and we have used it for plotting part, that is sns.histplot. And within that, we have passed each variable that was there in the var count list that contains all the continuous variables. So this will plot the histogram for each of the continuous variables from our data frame. And along with that, for simultaneous representation, we have also chosen the box plot. And same, we have used the cbon, that is sns.boxplot, and again we have passed that variable within it. And for saving it in the form of png image, we have used the matplotlib, that is plt.save fig command we have used it, which will automatically save the images that we generate for a variable in our continuous list to the folder, and that folder path has been mentioned over here, as I said you. So in the same way, for the discrete as well, we as Aishwarya explained initially, that she has segregated the discrete and the continuous variable, and that has been stored in the list, that is discrete variables are within var discrete list. So here again we have iterated each variable, and then we have changed the directory over here as well, like we have given the same path over here so that the images of the same can be saved in the folder for future references. So here as well we have used this sns.barplot, that is cbon we have used, and we have chosen barplot for our plotting part, and same we have used this matplotlib to save the images in the form of png. So let me show you this. So when we run the graph function, here you can see it categorizes our whole data set into continuous and the discrete part, discrete or categorical you can say. So continuous part that has mpg, displacement, horsepower, weight and acceleration. To clear you out, we have used here cars data set. Okay, and these all are the columns in that. You can say attributes. And we can see over here, all these are for all the continuous variables. This histogram and box plot has been plotted. And same way, if we go down, we can see for our continuous, for our categorical variables, these bar plots have been generated. Isn't it interesting?
Yes.
Wait, there is another part to it. Let me show you where is it getting saved for future references. As I told you, I've passed this path, and within continuous, you can see all these images are getting stored over here. See, this is for acceleration, and along with that, for future references, it won't be any problem as well, because the images are getting saved with this variable name. This is another thing, so that a person won't get confused in future that which graph is it referring to. So for differentiating that, we have saved the images in the form of in the name of variables itself. Now,
thanks, Supriya. This saved a lot of time this will save a lot of time for me, lot of repetitive, boring tasks, and data will be saved in a folder which can be used by other team members as well. So you solved the second problem as well. In fact, you have automated a big chunk of graphical data analysis part of EDA. Okay, and you know we can use this functions of yours as a package as well. And
is that possible?
Yeah, everything is possible in Python.
Okay.
So why don't you just download? Yeah, you download this file as a .py, save it in a Anaconda library under an Anaconda lib folder, and then import it as a like the way you import any other NumPy or Pandas. Why don't you just give a try?
Yeah, sure. Let me give a try. So I've saved the, I have copied the graph that was our main part, as you said, along with the libraries. And you want me to download it as py, right? So let me do it. It's showing over here. Okay. Shall I rename it, because I have another? Okay, then what do I need to do next?
Just save it in Anaconda.
Anaconda. Sure, let me do it. Okay, I've done it.
Now you can import it in any of your EDA related programs where you need to use this. And you can share your package with me as well. So
Do you want me to run it?
yeah, just give a try if it works. Are you sure this is a triple T, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oops. That. PT dot. Wow, Runa, that's great. This can be reusable. I have many other functions like this. I can try all of my functions by converting it into package. That's a great idea.
And don't
Thank
forget
you.
to share those packages with me, huh, so that I can reuse
Sure.
in my programs. Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Thank you.
So let's join the
Thank
ticket
you.
party. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Let me stop